Oh, well, we're live. Hi there, everybody. We're at the upstairs in the upper gallery at the Hoboken Historical Museum. It's the mezzanine level. It's upstairs. And we are up at 1301 Hudson Street. And the show is Hoboken Talks. It's a weekly show of people, interesting people, having interesting conversations. I tell you, it's interesting. And we try to get as many different kind of voices on the show. We've been running it since January 2021, I think, and have upwards of 80 shows. And you could go to our YouTube channel and check them all out. We are streaming out to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. And if you're on Facebook and YouTube, you can make a comment or ask a question, and we'll do our best to respond. Sometimes they don't all make them through, but that's the idea, is to have a little bit of interactivity. I'm Rand Hoppe. I'm the collections manager here at the museum, and I'm the producer and director and computer guy and whatever here on Hoboken Talks. So I make the show happen. We've had great guests like Greg Delaquila, Mark Singleton. Who else? Oh my gosh, Lois Olivio, Andrea Kronig. It's just been, it's a panoply of fantastic Hoboken personalities. Stick Romano was on, Lenny Lucci. It's just Lenny Luzzi, excuse me. Anyhow, so yeah, it's a great show, and we're really proud to be offering it for this long, and look forward to continuing it. Today we are here with Rev Anthony Forbes, and let's just well, there we are.
Hey,
okay, man. Good to see you.
Same here, man.
Yeah, man. We're Rev's been around. You born and raised.
Yeah, I'm a BNR, baby.
BNR Hobokenite.
Absolutely. And Red Wings, just go Red Wings.
Let's go Red Wings.
Red Wings in the building.
Yes.
Okay.
And Rev is you're working at the shelter these days.
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
yes.
The Hoboken Shelter.
Yes. Absolutely.
So that's I know that you're really involved in a lot of the outreach, right? So that's the really powerful stuff. To go out and talk to people.
Yeah. Our motto is, we'll meet you where you're at. So wherever you are, that's where we're gonna meet you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's really great stuff. And what else? I guess one of the things that we were talking about before the show was how long you and I have known each other.
Listen, we go back. Yes.
So we agree that we probably had some kind of passing at Boo Boo's.
At Boo Boo's, yes.
I think
in the late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
Yeah, 90, 91, 92.
What was Boo Boo's for the people who don't know?
Boo Boo's was a collective of hippies, new wave folks coming in. So it was just a marsh of like artists type folks. It was different, and it had writings all on the wall. So it was a different place, but it was very much Hoboken.
It was,
at that moment. If you hung out at Boo Boo's, if you did your thing at Boo Boo's, you were somebody.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was. I think it's Hoboken Eye Shop now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's a eye shop. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They cut it in half.
It was part of the. Yeah. It was the Clanbroth house was so huge.
Yeah.
That
the beginning. That was the left of the Clanbroth house. So if you're standing in front of the Clanbroth house, Boo Boo's was towards the left, going towards Hudson Street.
Right.
Yes.
And so I mean, you could, if you went to Boo Boo's, you could. Was the bathroom the Clanbroth house bathroom?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, you're not sure when you went to the kitchen. You could go to a door,
and then you find yourself.
Exactly. You go to a door to go to another door, and next you know you're in the kitchen. I'm like,
and then there's somebody having a wedding. In the catering room.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that was hilarious.
Really great to see Eric Hammer, our regular viewer. He's saying, born and raised, let's go Red Wings.
Way to go, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. It's great to hear from you. But really, so that was probably a passing.
Yeah, that was definitely
because your cousin Rob or Rodet was working there.
Yeah, he was formerly known as Rob.
Rob, yeah. So the family still calls him Rob.
Yeah. From time to time, we do.
But Rodet was working there. He's a friend of mine. I met him around that time, a little earlier, through the whole comic book thing.
Yeah.
Prince.
Yeah.
And
big
comics.
Prince fans. Big Prince fans. Yes.
And I remember visiting him. He and Alberto Valentin had rented an office in the Hoboken Land and Improvement Building where they were working. They had a studio going where they were making their go for an art studio, art services
in the landmark building.
Yep.
At the time, you can't get in there now, but
But they were there. They were,
you
know. And I remember visiting them. I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" Ro was like, "Come on by," Okay, so I come by, and there's Mr. Forbes, as I've been calling you almost the whole time I've known you. I'm gonna work on calling you Rev because that does seem to be what everybody else calls you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, yes. But so there's Mr. Forbes there, and you are like on the phone. Yeah. You are like salesman.
Yes.
What were you up to?
I started a pet insurance business. I was in the insurance business at the time. I was working for Oxford. It was at the beginning of the HMO crave.
Right.
So so I took that knowledge of health insurance for people and applied it for animals. So I had a couple of folks that were in my circle, and their biggest issue was vet bills.
Yeah.
So I got with a couple of vets, and they gave me a list of common things. I got with an underwriter, and there I was. I was in business, baby. Pet insurance. This was like 92, 93.
Yeah. No, I just remember you were intense salesman, and you were like art and drawing, and there you are. No, listen, ma'am, I'm telling you, this
is a good deal. Low premiums, right? You got a 90-day lock-in period. So I was applying the HMO principles, and I cut a couple corners to them fit the for the pets, but that was probably our official meeting was that day. Yes.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and then you were telling me about the your time in the delivery.
So I have always been an entrepreneur. I've always had that spirit. If I see something I want, I'm going to go get it. If I can't get it, I'm going to figure out how to get it. If I can't figure out how to get it, I'll just keep working at it until I get it.
Yep.
So right after that, I started to work for a food delivery company called Guess Who Coming to Dinner. And again, as I'm part of them delivering, I see the operation piece of it. So I started asking questions. Well, how do they get their orders? Who's calling in? What's this process like? So big shout out to Ned. Ned was the owner of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. So he showed me the ins and outs from start to finish, from negotiating with the restaurants to the communication piece. So I just mirrored what we were doing at Guess Who Coming to Dinner, and started door-to-door dining. Right. And my home office was 108 Sussex Street in downtown Jersey City, where my cousin Rodet and my sister were receiving the orders over by fax. And I was fax orders, yes. And I was the dispatcher. I mean, they would dispatch the orders to me.
Right.
And
and there's Rodet.
What's going on, bro?
Where's Two Fave Peeps?
There it goes. So
thanks.
So we turned around, and he would call the orders into me. I would pick them up, it grew, and then eventually, we move on and do, you do other things.
Ms. Donna Mullen, great to see you on Hoboken Talks. You do such a great job at the shelter and have a great rapport with everyone.
Thank you,
including the volunteers.
Appreciate you, Donna.
Really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
And then we have Deborah Welch.
Oh, say that. How you do?
Reverend Anthony Forbes continue to do great work in the Hoboken community.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Deb's another BNR.
And Rode apparently did a nice logo for you.
Yes.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, that's Rode.
That's Rode.
Yeah. Rode has done all my logos for all my endeavors, for all my adventures, from personal training. I had a personal training business for a while called Forbes Built. And it was a hot pink card. He he's always the shock value, right?
Right.
So hot pink card with raised black lettering, and when I got those cards and I started handing them out, my business went through the roof.
Oh man, that's great.
And 99% of the people said the card was hot.
Yeah, Viviana Lopez says hello.
Hola, Viv. Viv is she's she's our day kitchen manager at the shelter. She just joined us. Great peeps, man. Can cook her tail off. She's bought into the philosophy that I preach is radical hospitality. So whatever there is to cook, Viv is gonna put it out, Jake's gonna put it out, Christina's gonna put it out. And definitely Dennis, So we have great group to work with. We have a comment here from Aunt Brax. Yo, what's up, Love Shack?
So did you meet Ricky Martin from Menudo in Hoboken?
So listen, I was still am the only Menudo fan. Okay, so here we go, 80s. Menudo's touring.
Man, they were huge.
Yeah, they were humongous. Forget that BT. What's that group? The new kids. BT 12. Whatever
BTS.
they. Yeah, BTS. Whatever they are. They had nothing. They had nothing on Menudo. So Menudo shows up in the projects in the old ball field before it became Mama Johnson's field, when it was just glass and concrete. So they pulled in and they came out and they were taking pictures, signing autographs. And from that moment, I became a Ricky Martin fan. If I could have worn the button, I would.
Right. You would have.
I would have.
But you could.
Because I was a Ricky Martin fan. Absolutely. Yeah. I can still know.
So you met him.
Yeah.
I remember I must have been around. That must have been right around the time that I moved to town.
Okay.
Because I remember coming here and just being like, oh, it's Menudo mania. All the kids.
Let me tell you something. When they made the announcement that they were coming, no big deal. You're a kid. You wasn't really paying attention to that. But when they showed up and everybody showed up with them, screaming kids, mostly girls, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
And I probably was the only guy in the group. Ricky! Okay. I was probably the only guy in the group screaming Ricky.
We have Mike P.
Okay.
Great job. Proud of you.
What's good, Mike? Love Bug. Yeah, that's my man.
So,
Mike, don't forget when you come up to reach out, all right? Because he's supposed to be coming up.
Nice. All right. So, you got involved, you had all these entrepreneurial things going on, but then there was something else that happened. Like you ended up in the Russo.
Yes. So how I get to the Russo Center was I'm working in New York for a startup HMO called Health First at the time. So I go in and I get hired. I end up making 13, 14-year career out of that. But at that point, I was unhappy. I was miserable. I had money. I had status. I had everything I needed that I thought I needed to have. So, young urban kid buying into the dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Keep your nose clean, go to school, do this, 2.5 kids. You got to live in this type of neighborhood. You got to drive white picket fence. You got to drive this type of car. So I bought into it. And when I got there and when I made it, and when I was at the table, I was like, okay, what's next? And nothing was next. So I, couple lefts, couple deep lefts, and I found myself in a couple dark moments. And, and one thing led to another. I started going to church again, and that was it. That was it. I thought that it was church that was calling me. I thought that, religion was calling me, but in actuality, it was just the spiritual nature of who we are that was calling me back to the whole, if that makes any sense. So that's how I walked away from the church and walked away from the whole religious concept. And that's how I ended up at the Russo Center, because I thought what I needed was that, but it wasn't that. It was something, it was something greater than that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you actually had a church.
I had a church. God in Christ Spiritual Fellowship.
Right.
Was the name of the church. We met Sundays. We're a non-denominational church, and people will come out to see me because they know me.
Right.
And I got to tell you and talk about things that I know you're doing. and that this wasn't my way of getting to you or helping you.
Right.
So it was a great experience, but seminary school.
Right. Seminary. Yeah.
No, cemetery. Because they're not teaching life and
I got you.
Yeah, they're not teaching life.
Right.
They're teaching ritualistic things, So as I started to grow in my walk, I started to understand that, we are all connected. So I don't care who you are or where you walk or where you come from. We are all returning back to the same existence.
Yeah.
So then that's when I shed my religious wings.
Got it.
And pulled the veil back. This is not the Wizard of Oz, baby.
and that was soon after that. You ended up that's when you first went to the shelter.
So what happened? So what happened? I was in the park, Church Square Park, aka 4th Street for the BNRs. So I was in there, and my twins at the time wanted some French fries from McDonald's. So we walked up to McDonald's, and then we walked back down 3rd Street. We walked up 4th, but when we left McDonald's, we came down 3rd Street. And then a distinguished gentleman that was standing at the back door by the name of James Shipman. Big shout out to James. He's like a big brother to me in this arena, man. Yeah. So he's standing at the back door, and I introduced myself. So I said, hey, I'm so-and-so. I have a church here in town. I want to volunteer, but I don't know what type of help you need. So he said, well, what can you do? Well, what do you know how to do? So you know how to teach groups? I said, yeah. I said, I'm a minister. I talk. That's what I do, So he said, okay, come back next Saturday. And that was it. It just kind of just snowballed from there, man. And that's when I met Jacqueline, and I met the whole team. And then I found out about the mission and the misunderstanding and misconception that people have about homeless people. I found that out when I started volunteering there. That's how I fell in love with the whole organization. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what? I realized since we've been talking that your microphone has moved a little.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Can we figure something out here?
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have weird table issues and
that's
stuff.
Okay. We got it.
I hope it doesn't fall off.
No, we'll put it right there. There
sorry about that.
No, we're good.
Yes. Okay. So there it goes. Yeah, it's moving. All right.
It's here.
I think it wasn't that bad. I think people were still hearing it because you have a good strong voice.
Absolutely. I'll sit up.
So you were doing group work there.
Yeah,
right?
I was doing group work. That's where my foundation landed. That's where I laid the foundation for how I interact with folks and teaching, and the methodology behind what I teach and how I teach. Right. Came all from being at the shelter, and to see that the guests were open. They were sponges.
Yeah.
And just to hear that, hey man, somebody believes in me. Someone believes in that this is not the end for me. So that love and that passion, that's why I'm still there.
I'm sorry just to go back in time a little bit, but Rode is mentioning that you had Menudo cassettes in your gym bag. So that's what cousins do, I'm the enabling, right?
Yeah, you are definitely. Listen, you forgot I had YCA. I had the village people in there too, Rode. Okay? Remember, I had the village people too.
That's right. Okay. So Christina Trinidad Murray is saying hi.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, she's actually our weekend case and weekend kitchen staff, kitchen manager, who is awesome. Another one who understand radical hospitality, what it means.
Nice.
And she's also a personal trainer, man. She's good people. And so if you need a trainer, reach out to her.
And then there's this Mr. Trouble, John Ozed.
John is just
calling you Tony, which
John,
is, Mr. Forbes, Tony, Rev.
Well, Tony, if you call me Tony, you grew up with me. You know me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you call me Anthony, then you know me on a professional level.
Right.
If you call me Rev, you know me since I've been a minister. Right. Yeah, so it's three phases, I would like to say.
3 phases. All right, well, let's head over into some pictures.
Okay.
And because you've provided some good ones, right?
Yeah.
So here we go.
Here we go. That's that. Shout out to my wife. She she picked that shirt out for me.
Oh, nice. That's great. That was so that you're on a boat.
Yes, this is the 40th anniversary gala. For the homeless shelter. That's our CEO, our chief, our executive director, Jacqueline Cherubini, who means the world to me. She's one of the main reasons why I'm still at the Hoboken Shelter.
Yeah.
Why I go hard for the Hoboken Shelter. Because she goes equally, if not harder than I go. Yeah. So big shout out, Jacqueline.
Yeah.
And what's up, nephew? Her son, Jay.
Yeah.
Love Jay.
And you're holding a plaque.
Yes.
Because at the 40th anniversary,
I was nominated as the shelter champion.
That's right.
Which everybody that works there is a champion. You know what I mean? I just happen to be the day-to-day face of a bunch of champions.
Right.
That work for the shelter. Absolutely. Any one of us could have got that award. I just happened to be the one who got it.
John wants to have a cigar with you sometime.
Hey, soon. John, whatever you want, my friend.
All right. So and then the next shot.
Oh, that's my twin Spike.
That's your twin Spike.
Yeah. And Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger can be twins.
That's right.
Me and Spike are twins.
Yes,
okay,
that is it.
I don't care. We are twins, and we call each other twins.
So you guys. So it's so funny because we've been hoping to have you on for a long time. We've been working on having you on Hoboken Talks.
Yes.
And it's just funny that 2 weeks ago Spike was on with Jack Silbert, and that was a really great show.
Spike's a really great guy.
Really fun to have Spike on, and it was funny because we were talking before I pushed the live button about how that you and Spike actually began kind of around the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. He was interning and I was volunteering with the groups.
Right.
And he got hired, and then I also got hired.
Yeah.
So and we're still here, man.
Something.
Great guy. That's at St. Matt's Parish Hall.
Right.
My ministry, Street Life Ministry, we had our first annual homeless Christmas dinner.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And Spike played the piano. Excellent piano player, by the way, everybody. Excellent. Hey, what's up, twins?
Greetings, twins.
I told you, man. That's my man right there.
That's great. And Eric says, congratulations. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
And Ryan Torres says, you're the man, right? Plastic Man and I.
Hey, Plastic Man in the building.
Oh, no.
Much love, Ryan. Much love. Ryan's another BNR.
Awesome. So, So tell me about these people.
Oh, that's mom and dad, man, on their wedding night.
Wow.
Yeah. They My father's family migrated from North Carolina, and my mother's family migrated from Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so landed in Hoboken, 216 Jefferson Street, where it all started for us.
Wow.
Yeah, so they met, and then shortly after, I don't quote me, but I want to say a few months later they were married.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
like, it was like that.
Lightning, huh?
Yeah. Look at mom. Mom was a hottie, man.
I can't deny
like
it.
A young Wesley
they're looking great. Yeah. They're totally looking great.
Yeah, it's funny because my nephew looks like my father. My brother Ronnie looks like my father too.
Oh wow.
But my nephew looks like him a lot also.
So they came in this would be in the 50s?
Yeah, because we were born in the 60s. Yeah. So they were already married for a few years before they even had my oldest brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were married. Yeah. They were married I definitely know 2 years. And then they had my brother.
Wow.
And then 2 years after that, me. 2 years after that, my brother. Was another 4 or 5 years after that, my sister.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
So you did them apart.
How many siblings?
4.
You're one of 4?
Yeah.
Nice. What's the birth order? Where are you? Curious. I'm just curious.
I'm second.
You're second. That's all I need to know. Yeah,
I keep forgetting that because
I know. Yeah, it gets weird sometimes.
Yeah, it gets weird.
So that's great. What a great shot. And so they were just in Hoboken. And
and met in the same building. My mother came to visit my aunt, which is her aunt, my grandmother's sister that lived in the building with my father's family.
So they met because the two different families were both living at 216 Jefferson.
Yes.
That's
so my aunt Maddie, big shout out to my aunt Maddie. She lived in the building with her and her, I want to say 14 kids, I want to say.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Big families back then, big families. And my mother was coming up from down south to visit her aunt. And that's how they met.
14 kids.
Yeah.
And
there's 12 left.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Big shout out.
Wow. So then we have this nice shot.
That's Pops.
That's Pops.
Yeah, he's probably somewhere on First Street.
Yeah.
You can tell the old background. I actually, you know what I think that is? I think that might be right next door to the spa.
Oh yeah, sure.
That parking
could be
because if you look at the building off to his left, that's that building.
That's the bank.
Yeah, that's the bank.
Yeah, it could be. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's why I love that shot because I really believe that someone's going to chime in a second and agree with me, and that has to be that shot.
Viviana Lopez says, "Great night."
Right.
So, what was your dad up to?
He was a truck driver. That's what they all did. You know, you got to understand, Hoboken was a blue collar town.
Oh, I know.
You know, we had factory. So if you worked at Maxwell's or you worked at the Lipton Tea Building, or you worked at Level Law, or you worked at Wonder Bread, or you worked at Newman Leather Factory. So those, we had a spice company, we had the soap factory. Fine. Yes. So that's what they did. Because their whole thing was, getting away from the South and just doing better for their kids and for themselves.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. All right, where am I? Oh yeah, there we go. All right.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Friday Night Lights. What am I looking at?
Lights, baby. I was carrying 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, that's right.
I was taking no prisoners. Now we're playing Snyder High School, and that's my Red Wings days. Big shout out to Hoboken High, the only high school in town for us, and everyone went to the same high school, and that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Now we have all these other options,
right?
But during the day, Hudson County sports was not to be messed with. Not to be messed with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was this? Dashing young man.
Yeah, look at me. Okay. I remember that haircut too. What I actually wanted was a fade on the side, but it made it like a bowl, but it was okay. Yeah. That was we were the first team to wear Air Jordans.
I was just saying, I'm looking at Jordans.
You see those, right? Yeah. When they first came out, we got them. We got them.
So that's Was that early 80s?
Oh, this is all 80s.
All 80s,
yeah,
right.
This is all 80s. I graduated 88.
Oh, okay.
So this has to be 80, 86, 87, 88, around there.
Yep.
If I'm judging on the legs behind me, it's 87.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because Freddie graduated after I did.
Got it. So what's going on here?
Well, this is my freshman year at Dakota State University. Now it was Dakota State College back then.
Wow.
Yeah. And Cindy, that was my girl. She was cool people, man. And my man behind me, I forgot his name, escapes me. But great times, man. Leaving Hoboken to go to South Dakota. Was an experience.
I imagine so.
Was an experience all folks from urban communities need to experience.
I agree.
Because you think you know what cold is, you have no idea.
No, that's right.
What cold is. But it was a great experience, great learning lesson. Hey, what's going on,
Bobby Milne is a great man from one of the most respected families in Hoboken.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something, Bob. Much love. Now, Bob grew up in our building also. You know, growing up in the 70s and the 80s, the blacks were the minorities in the housing.
Yep.
You know, and we had all flavors, Russians, Jewish, Ukrainians, Asians, Filipino, everybody, and it was a melting pot. And the Milne family was underneath us. So big shout out to the Milne family. It's funny because there's two groups of the Milne families. There's the redhead Milnes, and then there's the non-redhead Milnes.
Okay.
So, but they're cousins because there's two fathers of brothers.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, two fathers of brothers. So Mike, Dennis, Dave, Will, and and those are the other Milnes. Those are my people, man. I thought I had photos of those, but I don't. Much love to you guys.
What else we got? We got a little bit of love from Simone Braxton.
Oh, Simone, that's my cousin. That's my father's sister's daughter, Titi.
Did I meet?
You met Simone, her daughter.
I met Simone. I met a Braxton with
one?
you on a young man.
That's Anthony. That's
Braxton.
Yeah, that's Anthony. That's the one who called in and said about Menudo. That's his sister.
Okay.
The one you met was the Menudo. That's the Menudo comment. Okay, love Shaq. That's the Menudo comment.
And there's Twana.
That's my aunt. That's the mother of Simone and Anthony.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. What else do we have?
Where we at? Oh, that's just me in my dorm room. Jerry Malloy, I received an award for them. Gary Reasons was the presenter of the award from the Elks Club. I was trying to find that shot because that shot goes with the shirt.
Yeah, that would have been great. Yeah. All right. And then.
Oh, that's my daughter. That's my firstborn. Was in the housing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
In the housing. And
so what year you think this is? Then?
She was born in 96.
Okay.
So that's probably 97.
97. Sure. Yeah.
That's when we used to wear pleats.
Wait a minute. What?
Let's go back.
The pleated
khakis. You know, brothers don't really rock khakis, unless you're working in a department store.
That's right.
But khakis during that time, with a pair of penny loafers?
Yeah.
Some Argyle socks?
Yes.
Come on, man. Stop it.
We have a hello from Fred Watson.
How you doing?
All right. And then let's talk about this a little bit.
Listen, that's a proud moment, man. Again, I just happen to be the one to win it. But that's the Macy Day Parade 2020. 2020. I was I was honored as a frontline hero, which there was a lot of us doing the same thing, but I definitely appreciated the honor. And it was just a great honor to be honored and to be on Tom the Turkey, man. That was a great ride. It was a great experience.
So you were actually on Tom.
Yeah. I thought I sent you one of those, but I was on Tom. Absolutely.
Oh, wow. And does that coincide with the Al Roker contact?
Yes. That's where I took the photo With Al, exactly. I was the same moment. Right after that, Al comes walking right past me.
And Ro is commenting on your cowboy boots.
So when I came back from So I know he's having a moment. Dakota. Yeah, I came back from Dakota. He's having a moment right now. That's okay, Ron. I know you're having a moment. We're having a moment right now. So when I came back from Dakota, I brought my boots with me, baby. Oh man, I was enjoying myself. But one thing I would always forget that you can't wear those for a long period of time. So I can recall times where I would go by Auntie Mamie's house. And I would have to sit down, have Ro pull on my boots, or we get halfway home, right? Leaving boo-boos, right? With my hot pants and my cowboy boots, right? Leaving boo-boos with the Vaseline legs. And I'd have to take my boots off halfway down to the projects. Because I couldn't walk them off. Because by then I had them on for like 6-7 hours by then. So so there's like a 4-5 hour maximum on cowboy boots. Okay. Absolutely. Especially wide feet folks like myself. Right.
Well, it must have been after a Sweet Lizard Ill Tet show.
Probably. Or Striper or White Lion.
Yeah.
One of them.
All right.
I was a Striper fan.
Okay. And Irene Corman Sabalo.
Hey.
Awesome.
Hey, Irene.
Great to see you. Yep. So I think that is our run of photos. Talk about what's going on. You have some activities coming up.
Yeah, I have some activities
tomorrow and then next week.
Yeah. So starting every week, we're going to have Empowerment Hour over at St. Matt's Parish Hall. Big shout out to Mark Singleton, Pastor Gary Spike for allowing us to use their space.
Yeah.
The purpose of this event is to help you get to the next level. The beauty of understanding where you are is that you got to go up. So what we aspire to do at Empowerment Hour is do that, empower you to move forward in this situation. Just because you're on the street or just because you're experiencing homelessness, whatever situation you're going to, there's only up from where you sit. So that's our main focus there. Extended happy hour fundraiser tomorrow night at Wicked Wolf. We're seeking to purchase a outreach van because we are a homeless street outreach ministry for the street dwelling homeless. Yes. There's a couple different groups. There's a group who is experiencing homelessness for the first time. They're still in the apartment. They may be getting evicted. The other group is they're already homeless. They're couch surfing. They park it every now and then. Those guys coming in, they want to get moving. And then the street dwellers have just given up.
Right.
They're just giving up altogether. Right. And in order for that particular group to really move forward, they need that spiritual peace. Because they have checked out.
Right.
They're checked out.
Yeah.
So that's what Empowerment Hour is all about, is helping the folks who have checked out, check back in. And the fundraiser is to help us purchase a van so we can do the street outreach the way it needs to be done.
Because I know that at least on an annual basis, there's a count, right?
Yeah, it's a homeless census. That just like the regular census. So it's nationally. So it's not just locally, it's nationally, where stakeholders in the homeless game go out and volunteers also go out and count every single person that's on the street. And that's where the dollars come from the government based on the population of homeless in your community.
Yeah.
Yeah. In your particular county.
Right.
Yeah.
And you one of the things that you do is you go out. I mean, how often are you out?
I'm
out every day.
I'm out 7 days a week.
All right. Yeah.
But let me back into that. So we have a lunch outreach program that I head up. So pandemic happens. Everything closes down. So now our guests have nowhere to go in between moments.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, Starbucks, all the outlets, library, everybody shut down.
They did. Yeah.
So Jacqueline reaches out and said, hey, listen, let's start doing outreach at night.
Right.
So once that started, that's when I saw the whole sub-community that doesn't come to the shelter.
Right.
So it was during the pandemic that I saw that. And that's where Street Life was born from that moment, understanding that it's bigger than Hoboken.
Oh yeah.
You know, so sure. I was having folks saying, hey, Rev, listen, if you go over here, right underneath the bridge, if you go over to Union City over here, there's more people. And that's what I started doing. I started doing that, and I just got a love and a passion for talking to these folks and helping them get to the next level. You know, without documents, you can't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So a lot of street dwellers, that's the first step, is getting their documents. So once we are able to get their documents, then the process starts. Then you start trickling away at this and that and that and that. So there's a lot of different models that are out. Housing first. You know, I'm not a big fan of housing first, but I do understand why it's important for housing first.
Right.
You know,
right.
But as Jacqueline always eloquently puts it, everybody deserves housing. I totally agree. But there's a lot of other things that go into that, not just housing. You have to have wraparound services. Like we have a housing program.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like as you're familiar with our PHSP program, it's an acronym, but it
permanent supporting
housing. Yeah. So which we have wraparound services.
Right.
So now we're putting people in these programs. In order for us to make sure they succeed, we have to give them wraparound services, and that's what we do. We give them wraparound services.
I didn't go for the full disclosure at the beginning of the show. I've been on the board of the shelter for like 10 years.
Yes,
I think.
Absolutely.
So you know,
a good member as well. Excellent member.
So it's important to that what you and the shelter and some of the other groups. It's just incredible how important it is, because the way I always saw it was so clear that, you know, we set up these structures of society, but there are gaps, and people fall into those gaps.
Absolutely.
And why aren't we filling those gaps?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the shelter and these other great services, that's where people can get helped. And I'm always, you know, you mentioned like the couch surfing. I mean, you know, there's people who are what is it? They have food risks.
Yeah, food insecurities.
Absolutely. But so their home might be all right, but they have food insecurities.
Listen,
you know, it just keeps going.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not only, you know, another misconception folks have about, you know, people who are homeless or who are experiencing homeless is that they're all druggies, they're all delinquents. You know, nothing good comes about when you think about a homeless person, and that's the total opposite. You know, we have investment bankers, school teachers, public servants,
everybody.
You know, firemen, cops. You know, everybody falls short, and it's our job as a community, and our job as fellow humans is to look down, not away.
Yeah.
You know, and we are so used to looking away. And I challenge everybody to look down, and they're not asking for a handout. They're actually asking for a hand up.
Right.
You know, so that's what the Hoboken Shelter brings to them. That's what Street Lights brings to them. It's a hand up, not a hand out.
Yeah.
And to get you in the right places so you can get the help and services you need to get off the street, because everybody does deserve their own place. And you know, and we're building. I love my city, BNR. I'm all over this place, but you know, we could have done a better job with making sure the most vulnerable communities were still present in this city, and not only present in the city, but also cared after, like we care after the seniors in this city.
Right.
You know.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think we can do more. The city's hired a new person on the fight for.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the social worker.
Social worker. So as a city employee.
Right. So I'm very, very excited about that. I'm looking forward to kind of, reaching out just to see where their head is. And we can work together. The shelter, we're the only game in town.
Yeah.
And I think we all need to be all on the same page.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And your Ro was on the board of housing for a while.
Yes, he was the chairman.
On the board now?
Yes. I just recently got appointed in May or April-ish, and I'm excited. I'm excited because that's where I come from.
Yeah.
So I left Margaret Hayes Hospital, went right to 400 Marshall Drive,
right.
apartment 3E. And there we stayed until my sister was born. Then we moved from 3E to 3G.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where I lived for 30 years.
Yeah.
Me personally, my mother stood well after my father passed away. My sister's also a housing manager. Big shout out to Yolanda. And so that's where I honed all my skills.
Yeah.
It's from the housing. So it's bittersweet to be back. The sweet piece is that I'm a BNR from there.
Right.
The bitter piece is that we got to clean up. We gotta make some changes, and we gotta do things differently, and we got to give people a hand up and not a handout.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to bringing that to the board.
Eric says helping those who are down is an amazing task.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right, Eric. Thank you. John O'Toole. John said the failure of capitalism. Yeah. That's the gap.
Yeah.
But no, but that's there's a lot going on and a lot of work.
Yeah.
And,
it's a lot of work, but it's work that's that I love doing. And I say all the time. I was talking to Jacqueline today. She was like, I don't know when you sleep. And I can say the same thing for you, Jacqueline. I don't know when you sleep either.
That's right.
So, and I have mantras in my life. And one of the mantras is, sleep is the enemy of success.
Right.
And, at the end of the day, there's 24 hours and you get the chance to choose to use it the way you want to use it.
Yeah.
And if your time management skills are not at a professional level, then this is work for you, but for me, it's not.
Right.
It's fun. I'm enjoying myself. I found my niche. Is it niche or niche? Everybody says it differently, but
they do.
But I found my sweet spot. I see why Tom Brady didn't resign yet.
You got your sweet spot.
Yeah, you
right?
find your sweet spot, and my sweet spot is helping folks get to the next level. Right. That's what I love to do.
That's really great. Yeah, and it's been a long, great road for you.
All my experiences, all my adventures, all my endeavors. Right. I drove my family crazy. Because, trying everything, doing everything. No one's understanding but you. Can nobody see it but you?
Yep.
But probably one of my wildest moments was starting the pet insurance company. That was.
It was bold. You were ahead of your time.
Yeah.
And this is actually a Hoboken cap in the background that you submitted.
Yes. That's one of my. I'm Hoboken all day long. Yeah. So when I was going through photos, I had to submit that one because that's Hoboken. Yeah. I wear it on my back. I wear it on my sleeve. Two famous people came out of Hoboken, Frank Sinatra and me.
Well, okay.
I'm in the same conversation, man. Come on.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Okay. Well, I don't know what else. I think we've covered it.
Yeah,
it was a great chat.
It was a real pleasure. I'm happy that we were able to finally hone in and hit a grand slam with this. I had a blast. I feel like I'm sitting on a park bench.
That's what the show is.
Yeah.
Everybody. We have people who get so nervous and they want to and it's just like, really, we're just gonna talk. Watch the show. It's just we're just talking.
Awesome vibe. Like I said, I've known you and your wife from day one. She's the sweetest pie. And you've always been, stand-up guy. Always smiling, always laughing. I don't think I've ever seen you.
That's true. I understand.
I don't think I've ever seen you.
And we're neighbors too, aren't we?
We're on the same stretch.
On the same block.
On the same block. Absolutely. As the BNRs call it, the block.
That's right. Yeah.
Big shout out to my wife too. Love you, babe.
All right. So I'm gonna head off and go and do some end credits and thank yous.
Absolutely.
And just sit tight for a little bit while I do this. Rev, it was just exactly what I hoped it would be.
Yes, thank you, my friend.
And we did it.
Yeah,
we did it. So that was and there's my wife. Great show, guys. Keep up the good work, Rev. Aw.
She's the
Thanks,
best,
honey.
man. She is the best.
All right. So I'm gonna well, actually, let's put your slides up again for a second. So you have a.
Don't forget, I don't care where you are in life, what walk you're in. Every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night. It's not a one-night event. It's every Tuesday night. Refreshments will be provided. Just come, sit, listen, and just get in nourishment. Just get some spiritual nourishment.
And that's in the same location where the
lunchtime ministry
is.
Yes,
so it's the downstairs
red
door.
The
red door on 8th Street.
On 8th Street, 57 8th Street. The red door.
All right, that's great. So once again, there he is, Rev Anthony Forbes. Thank you so much. And coming up, we've got Bill Keller. It's going to be a pre-recorded show. It's going to be great. I spent some time with Bill today, and he's got great photos and great anecdotes. And he'll be talking to Bob Foster. And after that, actually, please come by the museum's booth at the Arts and Music Festival, October 2nd. We are going to be set up there, and I'm going to be there with a camera, and I want to talk to people and record some clips about Hoboken and Washington Street and so on. And then I'll edit them together and turn it into a Hoboken Talks episode. So, and Rev, you were saying you're gonna be set up at the Music Fest?
Hoboken Shelter has a booth. We should be on 3rd Street, and also Street Life Ministries. We will also have a booth, but we'll be either on 1st and Wash or or Newark and Wash. Either Washington First or Washington Newark.
Go to the festival and look for all these great people. We're going to be there,
Absolutely.
So, all right. So, and I think the museum's going to be like at close to 5th on the 400 block. We'd like to thank the memory of Mel Kiernan. Mel was a big fan of the museum, loved Hoboken history, and we thank him so much for bequesting some of his estate to us when he passed away. So that's just a wonderful thing from Mel Kiernan. And we also want to thank the New Jersey Historical Commission. They have provided us with a grant during last year, I think, for some technology, and that helps make this show happen. Look at that monitor. It's big, it's huge, and it's crisp and clear. And that was thanks to the New Jersey Historical Commission. The New Jersey Council for the Humanities also provided us with some money in order to keep this show going and the museum going. The Shipyard Circle, these are our top donors at the Hoboken Museum. You can see the stars indicate people who are our trustees, our #1 volunteers. These are just wonderful people. We love all of our donors and volunteers at the museum. We'd like to thank Iron State. Iron State has, we thank Iron State every day because they lease us this space for an incredibly, like $1 a year for 99 years. They support us in all kinds of ways. They provide us with great auction items for our fundraising events. The museum would not be what it is without the support of Iron State. Come to the museum. We are at 1301 Hudson Street. We have a great exhibit called The Avenue, A History of Washington Street. You called it The Avenue, right?
Yeah, The Avenue.
We're going to see you on The Avenue. That's what everybody said.
That's what it was, The Avenue.
It was The Avenue, and it still is. We've got all kinds of artifacts, photos, maps. You love it. If you come and you want to learn about Hoboken's main drag, come to the museum. And upstairs, where we're sitting right now, are these beautiful still lives by Deborah Pohl. The show is called Unclassical Contemporary Still Lives, and they'll be up through October 30th. It's a really great exhibit and great artwork. Deborah recently got a fantastic grant from the New Jersey Arts Commission. I'm not sure if I got the name of that granting organization correct. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe our videos on YouTube in particular. We love followers and likers and commenters, and share stuff around. It just makes us feel better, and that we've gotten our numbers up. So it's not like we're making money off of it or anything, but we do enjoy social engagement and looking at our numbers. I am going to come back to us for a minute just so we can toast the show with our fantastic Hoboken Talks mugs. So there we go. And everybody who comes on the show gets a mug. I know, it's swag.
Yeah, swag. Nice little drip.
So once again, I'll go back to the logo and I'll say farewell to everybody. Thanks again, Rev. Thanks to the museum.
My pleasure, man. Right. Much love, baby.
Okay. I'm going to